Five Nights at Freddy's is a game series with 9 different games with a deep and complicated story. And today I'm going to give my take on a small part of that story, being Five Nights at Freddy's 6. Now I know this is very different than what my normal content is. I usually discuss stories of different films, but this is still a story and a well written one, so here's my small take on it. Remember to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. "30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closes its doors, a new attraction opens, Fazbear's Fright, a horror attraction featuring elements from past events and restaurants. But shortly after its opening, Fazbear Fright burns to the ground. Springtrap or William Afton burns along with the attraction, the man who started it all, the man who created the animatronics, the man behind the murders. Michael Afton, William's son, is responsible for the fire. He was able to destroy the monster that was his father. He was able to avenge his little brother, an innocent child thrown in the mix of it all. In his mind, he has finally ended the horror that was Fazbear's Entertainment. He has finally ended years of suffering caused by his father, but it's never that easy. If Michael was able to escape the fire, why wasn't Springtrap able to? Of course, Springtrap does always come back. It never really does end. Although Springtrap did survive the fire, the spirits of the innocent children were in a way finally able to rest. In the old Fredbear diner where everything once began, where their innocence was taken from them, they can finally have the birthday party that William Afton stole from them. Sitting in their seats where everything once began, they're finally happy and pleased. As they finish their party, the puppet happily watched the spirits of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy finally be able to rest and finally be free. But it wasn't that easy with Golden Freddy. With 2 spirits in the animatronic, one still had hatred for William and wanted revenge, while the other was set free from their many years of suffering. Only the second spirit in Golden Freddy and the puppet remained from the original 6. Both of them stayed to ensure William Afton and what he had created were gone for good. But many things still weren't right, and Henry knew this. Henry was a lifelong partner of William Afton, the other man responsible for the creation of Fazbear Entertainment and the animatronics. Although he created these machines, he still couldn't understand how innocent children could be stuck in these animatronics. He still couldn't understand how something he created could turn into a monster. And of course, the thought that William Afton survived that fire still roamed his mind. These thoughts and worries kept Henry up at night. But what really made Henry lose sleep, what really made Henry's mind race, was the grief and pain he felt. Not only was Henry a partner of William, but he fell victim to William's heinous acts. He lost his beloved daughter to William. On that fateful night, he wasn't there to save her. He wasn't there for her. Not only did he lose his family, but his own daughter was stuck in one of the animatronics. She was stuck in the puppet. But how? There were also Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby, who still roamed free. Henry is now a broken man, drowning in his own guilt and remorse. This is all his fault, he thinks to himself. He needs to end all of this, now. But how can he do it? After many more sleepless nights, he finally has a plan. He finally has a purpose. To keep documentation of these thoughts and ideas, he records his thoughts in a voice recorder.
He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
But of course, Henry isn't able to gather all of these animatronics into one place and salvage them by himself. He gets the idea to hire a manager to be in charge of Freddy's Pizzeria. This way, the manager decides how the restaurant looks and what animatronics are part of the restaurant. But most importantly, and the main reason they are hired, is to salvage the animatronics. By setting up advertisements and with Henry's idea, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place is officially open, awaiting its new manager. Michael then sees the different advertisements everywhere, wondering how another pizza place could be opening. He then quickly remembers who Henry is and how he was a partner of his dad. If Henry was his dad's partner, he must know why William committed all these acts and why he became this monster. Michael knew he needed closure, so of course he takes the job and is hired. But Michael realized that this job was very different from being a security guard like he did so many years ago. He had 2 special obligations to follow before the end of the job, or else he would be terminated. He had to follow obligations under paragraph 4, meaning he had to salvage all animatronics found, and of course gather all animatronics in one place for a big party on Saturday. He would often hear this phrase, but what was going to happen on Saturday?
Don't forget Saturday. You want them all to be in one place.
But before Michael could even begin to salvage these new animatronics, Henry knew he needed to lure them to the new pizzeria. He began to lure Mo and Freddy and Scrap Baby with similar smells and sounds from their previous pizzeria location, Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rental. It was much easier to get Springtrap to the pizzeria. He didn't need to be lured. Seeing advertisements for the pizzeria enraged Springtrap, as he knows Henry and Michael are behind it. He goes to the pizzeria with the plan to kill Michael and Henry. That only left one animatronic to be found, his own daughter. But it would be much harder. So being the mechanical genius he is, he creates a new animatronic, Lefty. It serves the purpose to lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract. The machine was successful in capturing the puppet, and now all that's left is for Michael to salvage the animatronics. Each night leading up to Saturday, Michael salvaged a different animatronic. The first animatronic he had to encounter was Molten Freddy. Molten Freddy consisted of Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and of course Ballora, Michael's mother. Salvaging Molten Freddy reminded Michael what it was like to be down there so many years ago. He's fighting for his life once more as he's done every time he encounters one of the animatronics. The following night he has to salvage his own father. He survived the fire, Scraptrap, now an even more depleted animatronic. An animatronic he was surprised to see the following night was Scrap Baby, who he knew was his younger sister, another innocent child suffering from William's creations. Although it wasn't possible to communicate with her, it was impossible to reach her with the corrupted and monstrous machine she was stuck in. But the final animatronic Michael had to salvage was Lefty, but Michael had no connection to this machine as Henry created it. But with 4 different animatronics salvaged, all that was left was for Michael to survive. Michael's job was easy. He needed to take care of ordering supplies, advertising, maintenance, and equipment. But each night Michael salvaged an animatronic, the harder it was to survive. But on Saturday, when all animatronics were gathered into one location for the big party, things were the hardest. With the 4 different animatronics attacking Michael from the left and right vents, it seemed impossible for Michael to survive. Just as Michael was finishing off his job, Scrap Baby calls out to him.
Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do, and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full.
It seemed like Scrap Baby and the other animatronics were going to put an end to Michael. Everything Michael had put into stopping Fazbear's Entertainment was going to be forgotten. This was the end for Michael.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting, friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
With Michael gathering all animatronics into one place, it was up to Henry to end it all, and he did. The big party on Saturday was Henry's plan to burn the remaining animatronics and rest their souls. All except for Scraptrap, as Henry knew William's soul could never find peace, not after everything he's done. The second spirit in Golden Freddy, William's own son, had plans with his soul. Plans to make him suffer and feel the same pain he inflicted on everyone else. He would make William suffer for eternity. As for the other souls, they could finally rest. The three inside Molten Freddy, including Michael's own mother, could finally be free. That also included Michael's younger sister, an innocent soul ready to rest. All that was left was Henry's daughter. The puppet looked after and cared after the souls in the other animatronics. Although she was shut out and left to die, she was there for others who experienced the same tragic fate that she did. With most of the souls at rest, all that's left is Michael. He had a way out, but he decided to stay. He must stay with his father who started it all and stay with his creations. He's a part of it all, so he must end with it all. As Michael's finally with his younger sister and mother, they can finally all rest. Henry is now with his family once more, and what was known as Fazbear's Entertainment burns to the ground, ending it all. But of course, it never really does end.